This is Optimal Finance Daily, episode 37, Minimalism and Frugality, a perfect combination, by the Frugal Babe from becomingminimalist.com.
Get ready to maximize your potential with Optimal Finance Daily, the podcast that brings you the best content in personal finance 5 days a week. Your optimal life awaits. Now here's your host, Dan Warren.
Hi there, I am Dan, and welcome to Optimal Finance Daily, where I read to you from some of the very best personal finance blogs on the planet. And today's post continues our week's special minimalism theme. It comes to you from the Frugal Babe at becomingminimalist.com. The title is Minimalism and Frugality, a perfect combination. Today is the second day of this week's special minimalism theme. It's actually a guest post on Becoming Minimalist by a woman who goes by the name The Frugal Babe, as I mentioned, and her story is that she and her husband started a business and had to take on nearly $40,000 in debt to do it. Now, because she was always a frugal person, she did not like that debt. She hated it, in fact, and decided to document her experience getting out of debt. Now, many years later, she does not blog on her site as much anymore, but got out of debt and has been a freelance writer for 3 years, and she considers that her dream job. So we're going to hear her perspective on minimalism. But before we get into today's content, very quickly, if you have not yet subscribed to this podcast already, please go ahead and do that. It'll make it a lot easier for you to find our new episodes. They'll be automatically downloaded to your smartphone or tablet or device, however you choose to listen to it. And subscribing goes a long way to help us with our rankings. So that should do it for our housekeeping today. Let's hear from the Frugal Babe and start optimizing your life. Minimalism and Frugality, a perfect combination, by the Frugal Babe, writing for becomingminimalist.com. A wise man should have money in his head, but not in his heart. Jonathan Swift. I've been frugal nearly all my life. I was raised in a family of 6, living on one modest income, and my parents taught us all from an early age that money was just boxed up time and should be used wisely. I've always shopped at yard sales and thrift stores and have become pretty adept at stretching our dollars. But I was never a minimalist, not even close. In fact, I was a bit of a pack rat. I think that I equated saving stuff and holding on to things just in case with being frugal. I kept all sorts of stuff in order to avoid having to buy something new in the future, and I also shopped far more than I needed to in an effort to find bargains and deals. All of that shopping was at thrift stores and yard sales, and I did find a lot of bargains. We live in a fairly wealthy area, and I'm always amazed by the stuff we can find used for a fraction of what it originally cost. Shopping at thrift stores was something that I loved, and I would usually end up there once every week or two. Invariably, I would buy stuff. My total bill was usually under $25, so my shopping habit wasn't a budget buster, but it was contributing a lot of clutter to our house, and there were definitely better ways that I could have been spending my time. About 6 months ago, I stumbled across a few minimalist blogs, including Becoming Minimalist, which appealed to me as a mother, and started reading. Although I had no desire to get rid of everything we own, I was very drawn to the idea of getting rid of all the excess. I didn't need 20 pairs of shoes, or half a walk-in closet full of clothes, or 10 saucepans. My stove only has 4 burners. I didn't need to hold on to stuff just because we had spent money on it. I didn't need to keep stuff simply because someone had given it to me as a gift. I realized that I'm drawn to wide open spaces and clean lines, and yet my house was filled with stuff and didn't have much in the way of wide open spaces. So I started getting rid of stuff. I got rid of about half my clothes and shoes, along with about half the stuff in our kitchen, bathroom, and linen closets. Instead of being cluttered with stuff, our bathroom counter is always empty now, which makes cleaning it much easier. The cupboards in the kitchen are no longer overflowing with stuff, and we can find everything we need at a glance. Since my husband and I got rid of a lot of excess clothing, we were able to sell one of our 2 dressers, which has made our bedroom feel much more spacious and clean. Overall, our house is cleaner now and much easier to keep that way. It seems odd to me that there was once a time when I didn't know about the concept of minimalism. These days, when I go to Goodwill, it's to drop off donations or look for very specific items that we need, like new winter boots for our son. Having small children means that somewhat regular shopping is always going to be a part of the picture as they outgrow things so fast, but my shopping is much more mindful than it used to be. Over the last 6 months of purging clutter, there hasn't been a single time when I've regretted getting rid of something. There hasn't been anything we've missed, and I doubt I can even remember a fraction of what was in the boxes and bags of stuff we've donated. There hasn't been a single occasion when I've had to buy something and wish that I'd hung on to some item that I could have used instead. But there have been lots of times when I've walked into our bedroom and felt calmed by how peaceful and uncluttered it is. There have been lots of times when I've needed to find something and known exactly where it is because we don't have cluttered closets anymore. And even though our shopping was never very expensive in the past, the fact that we do so little of it now is definitely more frugal. We do still buy things just for fun. Recently, we went to the thrift store for some winter shirts for our son and came across a preschool-size electric four-wheeler for $30. The day after Thanksgiving, we bundled up and spent the entire day in the backyard playing with it. We made some bumps for it to go over, and our son had a blast driving around all of the garden beds and over his awesome track, as he called it. We took a break to walk over and watch the train go by and to play with some other kids at the park. I cannot imagine our son being any happier. He had both his parents with him, he was using his imagination, he was digging in the dirt. It definitely made him happier than if we had spent the day shopping to buy a bunch of toys for him. Although I've always been frugal, minimalism is a new adventure for me, and I'm finding that it makes my life so much easier. I spend less time cleaning and organizing now and more time with my family. Instead of going shopping for entertainment, I go to the park with my son. Instead of looking at a closet full of clothes and wondering what to wear, I now wear everything in my closet and know where everything is. Instead of having a basement filled with clutter, we now have space in the basement for a large workout area. And all the stuff I was keeping, just in case, is no longer taking up space in our house. I found that minimalism actually matches up perfectly with frugality. They're both important aspects of a simple life, which is what I was striving for all along. You just listened to the post titled Minimalism and Frugality, a perfect combination, by the Frugal Babe, writing for BecomingMinimalist.com. And we want to know what you thought about that post or today's author. Come visit oldpodcast.com and share your thoughts. Also, please let us know what you think about this theme week, if you will. We're having a week of minimalist posts. And if you're enjoying it, you should certainly join our weekly newsletter where you'll have a chance to win a book by the Minimalists every month. To do that, to sign up for the newsletter, simply text the word financial to 44222. That's the word financial to 44222, or you can visit us and join at oldpodcast.com. And that's episode 37. Tomorrow, we'll have a post from the Minimalists. I'll see you there where your optimal life awaits.
Hello, Life Optimizer. This is Justin Malik, creator and producer of this podcast, but also Optimal Living Daily, the show where I read to you from even more blogs covering finance, productivity, minimalism, personal development, and more from amazing bloggers like Derek Sivers, Zen Habits, The Minimalists, and all the ones you hear on this show too. So if you enjoyed today's episode and like taking amazing blogs on the go, come on over to Optimal Living Daily and subscribe to that one too. And together, we'll start optimizing your life.
You've been listening to Optimal Finance Daily. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on each new episode and head to oldpodcast.com. That's oldpodcast.com for a free gift as well as more actionable tips and resources to help you maximize your potential. Thanks for joining us, and remember, your optimal life awaits.